Comedians are good storytellers, so tonight I'm at an open mic to get some stories from some comics. This is the interesting project. Your name?
Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah, Edmund Boys.
Edmund Boys. As I was walking through the pub and just setting up here, you were the first person here, and you told me it's your first time doing open mic comedy.
In this country.
In this country?
In this
Okay.
country.
So you're not a complete newbie.
Not a complete newbie, no.
How much experience have you got?
Several years of hella lazy stand-up writing.
Yes, that's always, always how it starts.
One set a year.
Yeah, there you go. So where have you performed?
I just moved from Auckland, so mostly in Auckland. In fact, only in Auckland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what sort of got you into comedy, stand-up?
I guess probably school. I guess being in school and you sit in a classroom and it's a very social environment and you talk, and that's where I learned how to be funny, I think. Or figured out that was something that I liked, you know?
Maybe on a bit of a deeper note, I feel like all comics have something a bit, like a dark side to them.
I agree.
Right? Like maybe some kind of trauma in the past, something that triggers it, right? Do you feel like you've identified yours?
I mean, which one?
Would you be open to sharing any?
I mean, we've all had like family troubles. I feel like it's not unusual these days to grow up with divorce. So for me, probably part of it might have been I was born in the UK, and then my parents split, and then I moved to New Zealand when I was like 10. So that's probably like one of the many things that sort of pushed me to unconsciously like try to make light out of situations. You know, find the funniness where you can.
Yeah. Okay. And why do you think people do that, to try and find the funniness in a dark situation?
If you're not laughing, you're crying. You know, as Big Smoke from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas once said, same things that make us laugh make us cry. And I think it's true. Like, it's even when you're laughing, it's like a shock response. You know, like most of the stuff you go at is like kind of just stuff that you weren't expecting. So it kind of links in. It's weird how it works, really. You know, if you look at laughter, it's such a strange activity, right?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Why do we evolve to do that? Like, it must be like some sort of coping mechanism.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's hard to pinpoint a reason, right? Like, why?
Do animals laugh?
I think they do. I mean, hyenas definitely laugh. That's the
But
first.
are they? Is that just what they do, or are they joking? Did one crack a joke? I don't know. Yeah, you probably don't know what I mean.
I don't know. I feel like animals also communicate like humans. I think it's only natural.
They must know what funny is, right? Some animals.
Yeah,
Dolphins play.
Yeah, fair enough. So you said which one, and well, the first one you brought up was a divorce, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's the main one or the biggest one?
I feel like in any young person's life, like that's a huge impact in the way that their brain ends up going. But yeah, there's like 1,000,001 situations. At the end of primary school, they had like, I was like 10, and they go, "What do you want to be when you're older?" And I was like, "Comedian."
Oh, really? So this is from a young age?
Yeah, really young. I used to
okay.
like just harangue my family members like over the Monopoly games, you know, like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the experience of going through a divorce is from a young age is. So like,
I wasn't married.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what I'm trying to say. But like, could you kind of explain what you were going through at that age?
Yeah, you just sort of like, as a kid, you end up really fending for yourself, I think, and you really sort of become quite. You grow up real quick. So all these like things, because your parents are sorting their shit out, like you just kind of you get confronted with life a bit quicker, maybe than normal. So yeah, I'm not really sure in specifics, but Yeah, you just sort of adult situations just appear as a young person, I think, with that.
I wouldn't say every kid should go through it, right? But like, is there also a silver lining to it, to be exposed to these adult situations at a younger
Maybe,
age?
yeah, I think so. I've definitely met people who haven't experienced, like, some people have never experienced anything shit in their life. Like, there's a small population of people that just, and personally, I think that makes you like a very incomplete person. I think if your life is that easy, like, you will be lacking something. I think you need some sort of adversity.
I told you the premise of this episode. It's comics are good storytellers.
Allegedly.
This is a bit like comedy. We're not going to put pressure on anyone here. But
this is no pressure in comedy.
this is where you can always fuck up. Okay. But do you have any story that you want to share? Could be funny, serious, whatever you want.
Man, you really put me on the spot.
Not like I didn't tell you before this.
Yeah, you got 5 seconds. Yeah, without thinking about it too hard, one story I can remember was when I fell into a frozen lake. Yeah.
What happened there?
So, you've heard of the phrase walking on thin ice?
Yeah.
It's true. Don't. Yeah, it was right before I left New Zealand, maybe a year, England, maybe a year or two. And like, we didn't really get much snow. Like, it was cold, but it was rare to get snow. So it snowed on Christmas. And it was like, holy shit, like, we can actually like make a snowball like from the movies. And like, there wasn't much. We were like digging it out of cars and stuff. It was like, it was amazing. Like, I was so stoked. And there was a park nearby.
Yeah.
And in this park, there was a pond. And yeah, me and my brother, older brother, we went out exploring. It was like all this snow. Maybe the lake's frozen. That could be cool. Let's check it out. Yeah, and it was like no one around, and this lake was shit, man. Like, it was like trolleys in the bottom, like nasty English pond, but it was frozen.
Yeah.
So my brother's walking around on it. He's like, "This is cool. Yeah, it's thick glass, thick ice even." And then I go off on my own, and I'm like, "Sure, let's just walk on some thin fucking ice." And then the next memory I have is like feeling it crack, and for some reason, even in that moment, I wanted to be funny. Even as it was cracking, I said, "Hit the deck." I was like, "Everybody hit the deck!" Like, I was making a joke, and I could have fucking died, like, in that moment. So I fell through the ice. I was like really young, completely took me by surprise. I was wearing wellies, gumboots, I guess you call them. I could feel them like falling off. I'm trying to like swim. It's just like this like circle of light where the hole is, and I'm like struggling. I don't know how long that was for, but even though my brother took me out there, he also saved my life. So he evened himself out, like,
yeah, balances out.
Yeah, he almost killed me, but he saved me. So
that's a great brother relationship.
It's even.
There you go. That's how it always is. That's
I don't owe him anything.
Yeah, how deep was that pond?
Hard to say. Must have been over a couple of meters. I think the thing that would have gotten me was just being so young, and the shock of the cold was like, I was just like, I could swim, but I forgot how to swim right then.
Was there a moment you were thinking like, oh fuck, this is it? Or like, it's all a blur?
It was too quick, and I think when you're that young, you're so naive. I think if I was a bit older, I might have that thought, but I was just like, what's going on? Still making a joke, like. And then my brother pulled me out of this park, and it's like a few kilometers from our house, and it's still freezing, and I've lost like all my clothes, like they've all gone in the water. So I had no shoes, freezing to death, and I was just like trudging home in this like frozen water. And there was a like, I don't know if you have big like, yeah, of course you do, like big indoor swimming pool complexes. Yeah, they're like real fancy places, and we like walked in. We're like, help! And this guy came out. He's like, oh, you can't be here. Sorry, are you gonna pay to get? Oh, you're making a mess on the floor. You need to get out of here. was like, this kid's gonna
No
die.
sympathy.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's like, you're not gonna pay £4, get out. Like, I don't care if you got hypothermia. So yeah, that didn't work. Left the swimming pool, and then eventually made my way home, like frozen to death, and yeah, jumped in a bath as hot as I could. And
What was the aftermath of this? Did your parents just...
Oh, my brother must have got a hiding. My
There
brother
you
would have
go.
got a hiding, yeah. Yeah, and I just never ever went on a frozen piece of water again in my life.
Lesson learned. There
Yeah.
you go.
Fadey?
Fadey. Okay, I told you the concept of this episode.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
what's your story?
Alright, so this one time when I was 17 years old, and it was Boxing Day, right? So I needed some fresh clothes, but I didn't have any money, right? So what I did was, you know, I tried to get some stuff for my mate. So I had a mate that he needed a bucket hat from Culture Kings, right? Not a bucket hat, it was a Falcons hat, right? It was a snapback.
Yeah.
And so he was going to pay $50 for that hat, right? And so I said, hey, if I get him that hat, you know, the 5-finger discount, then I can get the $50 and then I can have something to work with, right? And so what I did was we went into Culture Kings, and he had scoped out Culture Kings pretty good, right? And he had scoped out this hat. And so he reckoned that we could get away with, you know, taking a hat and just running off, right? And so I was like, no, we'll do this nice and calm. I had to check at the hat was good. And so, you know, eventually I put it down my pants and I was walking out, right? But I had a bag on me, right? And so the bag was the decoy, right? And so as I'm walking out, it's Boxing Day sales. There's literally like a packed out line. It's going around the corner in Melbourne. It's just when Culture Kings had just started, right? So it was like 2 years into Culture Kings just started. And so I thought, here I am, this little genius. I'm going to walk out with this. It's going to be nice and easy, you know what I mean? And so as I'm walking out, I start getting beep, right? But I walked out with a couple of people. And so as I'm walking out with a couple of people, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to be fine. And so there was one security guard that was standing right next to the door. He was like, you know, I don't know, he wasn't paying attention. But there was another guy who was across the sort of the end of the sidewalk, and he was sort of overwatching everything. He was the smart guy. And so the first time I walked out, it beeped. I sort of looked back. I should have just kept walking. I looked back to go, hey, what's going on around here, you know? Yeah, that's right. So you got to put it on. And so as I'm walking out, the other guy goes, no. He goes, how about all three of you walk back in? So there was me and two other guys. And so we walked back in, and he made us walk out one by one, right? Me being last, right? And at the time, there was like a big trend where you just wore really baggy shirts, right? And so I wore like a really baggy white shirt. And so as I'm wearing this baggy shirt, I'm thinking no one's going to be able to see anything. And so what I did was I walk out last, and I walked out with the bag, right? And so this guy, and it's obviously started going beep. I'm thinking to myself, this hat is definitely like rigged, you know what I'm saying? Like by this point. And so I walk back in, and then this fobbo bloke, he holds my bag and he goes, okay, you walk back in and then I'll pass you the bag. And so I walk back in, he passed me the bag, right? And then he said to me, you walk out, he goes to me, pass me the bag out of the thing. So I passed him the bag, he grabbed the bag in his hand, my bag was like half open. And so he goes to me, walk out alone, right? And so it's just me. He sort of isolated me down. It's just me. And so I walk out, and as soon as I walk out, it starts beeping, big time. And I knew it was going to beep, right? So I had like a little move in my head. And my move was grab the bag, sort of half slap him in the face, and just run off, right?
All right.
Yeah. Look, you know, you gotta want it, you know.
That $50 hat, man, I needed it. All right.
Well, see, I was supposed to impress this girl, this Brazilian girl that I was supposed to literally go on like a little bit of a date with that day. I didn't have any money, and I didn't want to ask my mum because I felt like a skin. And so I did the worst thing possible. I committed a crime, you know what I'm saying? And so as I'm walking out, I know he's like, it's going to start beeping. So I grabbed the bag real quick, it starts beeping, and I sort of half slapped him, yanked the bag out of his hand, and I'm sort of running off. And I like, you know those cartoons where like someone gets a hold of somebody's tail and it sort of like just stretches?
Yeah.
Well, that happened with my shirt, right? And so he had grabbed my shirt. And so I looked back, I like yanked his hand, like sort of karate chopped his hand, he let go. And I thought, fuck yeah, I'm in the clear, you know what I mean? And so I start running across the road. And at the time, we had just had these guys come out. They weren't police officers, but they were basically PSOs, and they were getting trained alongside the police officers. What they would do is they would go around to all the train stations, all the bus stops and everything like that, and they would make public transport safe, right? Well, these fuckers were on the street, you know what I'm saying? And they happened to be right across the road. So I look up, and there's literally 3 coppers, and one of them has already pulled out his taser, and he's pointing it straight at me, right? And so I'm standing there thinking to myself, I'm either going to get tasered because I can see the little red dot going around my fucking thing. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get tasered in front of like 10,000 people behind me, or like 5,000 people, whatever the fuck it was. And so I just go, fuck it, I'll give up, right? And so I went down and I gave up. And then the whole time the Seki is sort of, he's caught up to me, but I'm with the coppers by now, you know what I'm saying? So I was safe, he wasn't going to do no revenge. Yeah. And so he goes to me, where's the hat, right? Or like, what did you take? What did you take? And so I go to him, it's in my pants, you can grab it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, you know, he like starts yanking my shit, trying to get the hat out. I'm off onto the side. And then I think social media had, like Instagram especially, had just sort of come out, like, you know, it was starting to get big. And so I had like a guy from Culture Kings come out, and he said, and by that point I was like in handcuffs, so I was like, you know, handcuffed in the back and shit. And so he's going to me, this one's for Instagram, smile, right? And mind you, like my back is like facing this guy. So I sort of like half looked, took a photo of that. And then I knew he like got my face and he was going to go for another little shot. Yeah. And so I was like, let him get a good shot of me. And so I bent over and gave him the finger as like my hands are like tied behind my back. Yeah. And so from there, I go to these coppers, I go, hurry the fuck up, put me in the fucking car. Because like there's a bunch of people like watching me. And they go to me, what car? You know what I'm saying? And so I was literally, if you know Melbourne, I was in Culture Kings in Melbourne, and then I had to walk from there, mind you, in handcuffs, with these PSOs, all the way down to North Melbourne fucking police station, which was like a couple of streets away. Yeah. And so as I'm getting walked away, I look back, and no joke, my mate walked straight back into the shop and just bought that $50 hat. And so I felt stupid as fuck, but that night, I'd never owned Instagram my whole life. I started an account, but I found out I was quite famous. Like, I was about 17,000 likes on this one post of this one guy. And so they had put down, they would go, you know, this guy, the bargains, and they made this a promotion too for themselves, okay. Right? So they were like, this guy was such a stinge, he came down and stole on Boxing Day. And so I didn't know what to do, bro. So, you know what I mean? So like, the fucking... I get walked back to North Melbourne Police Station. My one comes and fucking, you know, picks me up, bails me out and all the rest of it. The date didn't go ahead. Oh, damn. So I completely missed out on the date. But for the next 2 years after that, I was known as the king, the kid who stole from Culture King. But you know, I had done previous things to that, so they sort of were half like trumping each other. But yeah, that's what I was known for after that for 2 years.
And what was the lesson learned from this?
Honestly, next time just try and check if there's a tag. Like just keep checking, you know what I'm saying? Because the tags are getting thinner and thinner. That's all I gotta say out of that. Yeah. But the 5-finger discount does work. Most times. Most times, okay.
90% success rate. Right? Yeah. I'm joined by
Miki Weingarten.
Miki. All right, Miki. Welcome to the interesting project. What's the story you got?
It was the night. Well, let's give it a title. The night I hung out with swingers.
All right. Where's this going?
Okay, so I was at my friend's bar. She was she was working that night. She was one of the bosses, and you know, like I was drinking and shit, talking banter with some of the other clients and shit, and then you know, like, then this couple comes along. They're from Puerto Rico, and yeah, like I was yeah, at first I didn't think of them. Oh yeah, Puerto Rico, San Juan, all that, you know, like, and you know, like, and then one of my two of my other friends, they went in, you know, like one from Germany, the other one from America and stuff, you know, yeah, that's all. Like, the point is, like, I got really drunk that night, you know, like lots of rum because of, you know, Latinos and shit.
Okay.
And then you know, like me, my mate at the bar, my other mates, and the two Puerto Ricans, we all decided to go to a club, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which club, man, and I don't even think I would tell them because of, you know, like copyright, blah blah, all that bullshit, you know. And you know, like, I was drinking more, trying to do the usual thing you do at a club, try and pick up, yeah. But you know, that's all of us, man.
Okay.
So bottom line is, I didn't know there were swingers until one of my friends, they started to dance with the husband, and then the wife was dancing with some other guy from Scotland or some shit.
Yeah.
And you know, like the husband and my friend, they were coming closer, and the Scottish bloke was ready to have a punch on and stuff because he thought he was attacking, you know, like, and for a moment, you know, like, they were fighting, and then, you know, like, I went to the bar to get another drink, and I couldn't tell the rest of the story, but next time I got there, my friend, the swinger couple, and the Scottish guy were all in the making up a fucking train, just dancing, you know, like in this fucked up, mangled train, sandwich thing, just all grinding up on each other and stuff. You know, and I'm fake, and then they tried to, oh shit. They tried to drag me into it.
Okay.
And none of them were that good looking, so I'm like, fuck that. Yes.
Not worth it in the end, huh?
If the girls were hot, sure, why not? Shallowness, people. Learn from me.
That's the lesson you learned?
No, the lesson...
What's the lesson you learned from this?
Never, if I'm gonna be with somebody and I want to fuck other people, it's not worth being with them because it's a waste of my time and their time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if it works for you, it works for you. But for me, it's just like, I don't know.
Not into that. Oh.
Not my thing, to be honest. You know. But you do you.
I'm joined by
Shiro.
Welcome to the Interesting Project.
Thank you.
What is the story you want to tell?
Yeah, so this is a story. Man, you know, I went to like a really autistic high school, you know, it was a selective school.
Oh,
It
okay.
was very autistic. Yeah, man, so, you know, it's a story about this kid that's, you know, very, very hungry for money, you know. I don't know if he was poor or not, you know, I won't say his name just out of privacy. I really don't know what this guy's doing now, but yeah. So we used to pay this guy to eat shit off the floor. So you know, it all started one day. We were walking to school. We see some dog shit on the floor, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to eat that shit?" And he's like, "If you give me $20, I'll do it." And I'm like, "Really?" And it's like, "Yeah." So we all kind of pooled together $20, and I gave him $20, and he ate it.
No, the whole thing, or just like a bite?
No, he got like a we gave him like a Nutella spoon, you know, Nutella spoons,
okay.
and he just like scooped it up and
Oh,
just
more
ate
than
it.
one?
Yeah, he just ate the full thing.
Is that cleaned up?
Yeah.
Damn.
And yeah, that was fucking weird, and yeah, man, he did this a lot.
A lot.
And then year 9, he tried to become a loan shark.
Okay.
He was like, "Hey man, you know, you wanna like borrow $100?" And I'm like, not really. It's like, no, you can't, but you gotta pay me like 30% interest, and like, you know, I saw I was getting you to eat shit like two years ago. What the fuck is this, man?
All that money built up, man.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. Not a bad business, you know, eating shit. You know, there's a lot of demand for that.
Do you think this guy enjoyed it, or was it just for the money? Because at one point it's like, man.
Yeah, I don't think he enjoyed it. Yeah. We did put it on YouTube, but this was like the early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
When you can just put anything on there. This probably would have been cancelled now, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you dig deep enough, might be able to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome story, Shiro. That was good, man. That was really good.
Thanks, man.